Hello viewers and welcome back to the Elite Karting Series for round 3 of the 2024 season. We're here at Buckmore Park, which saw its inception in the 1960s and has since gone on to host a multitude of events, the EKS of course just being one of them. Split 2 race 2 is coming up, and well, we can go to your starting grid where Callum Bendelow looks to make it his first win in the EKS since December 2022 at this very circuit. Louis Draper alongside him on row 1, only 19 hundredths of a second separating those two drivers. Jack Led and Ellis Beattie are row 2, with Elliot Tuesley and Jules Larkin the third row of the grid. Adrian Perez-Thoroso is in 7th position with Alfie Shrub in 8th. William Roberts and Owen Campbell, the rest of your top 10, just 4 tenths of a second separating all of our drivers up until this point. Mike Smith, with all his experience, starts in 11th position with Chris Phillips in 12th. Luca Nick and George Braun, row 7 of the grid, with Ethan Vincent Dotsey in 15th and Ollie Cooper-Welton in 16th. Your final row is made up of Archie Prattley and Matt Putland, who won Split 3 race 1. He's gained promotion. Not long to go now before the start of Split 2 race 2. Callum Bendelow on pole, looking for his first win since the inaugural event in December 2022, and it is lights out and away we go. And it's a pretty good start for Luca Nick, who moves across to try and cut off George Braun down into turn 1, gaining a couple of ground as well as he makes his way through into that corner. Alongside him goes Ethan Vincent Dotsey. George Braun trying to go to the inside line. Callum Bendelow holds the lead into the first corner. Spinner at the back, so that is hugely frustrating. Luke, I think you have some info on that.
Yeah, that was Elliot Tuesday. Just got tagged by Alfie Shrub going in to head one. Alfie Shrub took him out, and Alfie Shrub has received a 30-second penalty as a result. We can see the drivers now finding their way down the hill, down Simon Sweep. We've got Ollie Cooper-Welton then was on the outside of George Braun. You can now see all the drivers from up in the sky. You can see from the drone shot going into Ghana there, that is a move. I believe that is Jack Led on the inside of, I think that's Ellis Beattie. It is indeed now got Jules Larkin on the inside of Jack Led as they head through Cafe Curb to complete the end of the first lap.
Well, keep an eye on those drivers as our drone's got eyes up the top of the track as well. Archie Prattley has a view just ahead of him, the number 9 car of Elliot Tuesley, trying to get himself past Matt Putland, who's only here because he got promoted after winning that Split 3 race just a few moments ago. Now Archie Prattley with a view of this as he watches the number 8 car as well as George Braun trying to make his way through, gets past Matt Putland. Callum Bendelow then a second in the lead of the race. The rest of the field make their way through. Louis Draper in 2nd position ahead of Ellis Beattie. Jack Led in 3rd position. Buckmore Park regular, he's making his debut in the EKS and doing a fantastic job as there goes Ellis down the inside trying to get past Louis Draper, and by the looks of things, as I can just about make it out, it looks like Ellis Beattie has got himself ahead of Louis Draper into 2nd position and can now chase after the ever imperious Callum Bendelow.
Can indeed, you can see as well the penalty flashing up on the board for Alfie Shrub. So unfortunately that is going to almost certainly relegate him to last place at the end of this race. But George Braun now is looking to move over the back of Matthew Putnam, the winner of the previous Split 3 race. Wasn't able to get the move done there though, and Alfie Shrub's just gone in deep going into hairpin 1, so Alfie Shrub's just gone wide, and as a result Chris Phillips and Luca Nick have managed to make their way past. So those two have now jumped up to 9th and 10th place respectively. As you can see the drivers coming back down into shot now. Looks like that's Will Roberts. He's got past Louis Draper on this lap, as has Jack Led. So Louis Draper's lost a couple of positions whilst they were out shot up at the top of the circuit. So it is now Ellis Beattie up into 2nd place ahead of Jack Led, and then you've got Will Roberts, then you've got Louis Draper, Jules Larkin and Adrian Perez.
George Braun trying to get alongside Matt Putland and Ethan Vincent Dotsey as they make their way up into turn 1. George trying to get himself just squeeze ahead of Matt Putland. Looks like he has done so. Can't quite see if Matt's alongside. He is still alongside into Conways and is able to get himself back through. So it's a staunch offence from Matt Putland, who now fancies his chances against Ethan Vincent Dotsey down the inside. The slightest bit of contact between the two of them. Nothing doing there though really. And Matt Putland is able to find his way through. Meanwhile, squeezing through as well is your number 3 car. So George Braun loses out on yet another position, if I'm not mistaken. That's Archie Prattley, isn't it, who's been able to find his way through. Now tries to get himself past Ethan Vincent Dotsey, keeping an eye on our race leaders as well. They say line of stern for the time being. George Braun had a little look at Archie Prattley, but again, no way through for him. Archie dives to the inside into Garnet, trying to get past Ethan Vincent Dotsey and stays alongside, but Ethan just about has him covered. He goes to the outside line, tries to get that run does get the run, and now Archie Bradley with a fantastic opportunity to take that position away from Ethan Vincent. Dotsey is able to find his way through. George Braun follows him through as well. He got his elbows out there, did Archie, but I think it was just about okay.
Yeah, and you can also just see on the screen there, Luke and Nick just done a double overtake into hairpin one as Chris Phillips and Owen Campbell winning deep because they were battling. Luke and Nick capitalised on the both of them, and they've managed to make their way through. You can now see this battle in front as they go and squeeze through the S's. It's all got a little bit messy there. You can see on board from Ollie Cooper Welton. Alfie Shrub came out worse from there. I think kind of 3 carts went into the S's at once and they didn't all come out the other side. And what a move that is by Ollie Cooper Welton. He went in a bit hot there and hit Mike Smith off the track. Alfie Shrub's now capitalised on that and got past the 2 of them. Now we've got a cart on the right side as well. That is Chris Phillips on the outside going through cart shop corner. So Ollie Cooper Welton got a bit optimistic there going into paddock, and as a result has lost a few positions as we come across the start finish line once more. Unfortunately, don't have any camera angles of the battle at the front of the field. No one has an onboard camera, but we can see Callum Bendelow has stretched out his lead even further as now Ollie Cooper Welton look up the inside of Mike Smith into hairpin one. That looks like a little bit of a better move than it was previously. Puts his hand up there, I think, to apologise, and is Mike going to come back past us? I don't think he is. Ollie Cooper Welton has managed to make that move stick this time round and is now up into 11th place, coming to shut. Now you can see Callum Bendelow, what a lead he's pulled out on the pack behind. Ellis Beattie has pulled away from them too, with Jack Led now in 3rd place. We've got Will Roberts in 4th ahead of Adrian Perth. You've then got is that Jules Larkin is, Louis Draper's dropped down the order, hasn't he? Yeah, so Jules Larkin's managed to get past Louis on this lap, and then they've got Luke and Nick, who is our front running onboard camera. He is now in 8th place.
Keeping a close eye on all of that then at the top of the field when they come back into view of our drone, which is keeping an eye on Garda at the moment. Archie Pratley has a fantastic view of the battling going on just ahead of him. Elliot Tuesley looking down the inside of Chris Phillips and gets through on Chris Phillips as well. Archie now on the outside of Chris Phillips will look to cross the lines over as they make their way out of hairpin 2. And well, it looks like Chris stays where he is for the time being, able to defend against Archie. The rest of the field making their way up into Garda now this time by the looks of things, Callum Bendelow still in the lead of your race by 1.8 seconds. Jack Led in 3rd, but for how long? Because he's only actually got 9/10 of a second in hand to William Roberts. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, also riding on board with Ollie Cooper Welton here, you can see Alfie Sharp up ahead. They just had a little bit of a dice going down the bottom of the track, but they have stayed in position for the time being. Remember, Ollie Cooper Welton, he's a senior driver coming in at 80 kilos, that's the middleweight seniors, whereas Alfie Sharp in front, he's got a bit of a bad run through Henry's Bend actually. Is Ollie Cooper Welton going to go up the inside? He is. He's going to go through hairpin 1, good move there by Ollie Cooper Welton, but he's still got Alfie Sharp on his outside, and Alfie's managed to get better exits, so Alfie's racing at 70 kilos, where he is a junior driver. Like I say, Ollie Cooper Welton 80 kilos, which means he's at a weight disadvantage. You can see up in front now from Archie Pratley's on board. You can see Mike Smith was side by side briefly there with, I think that was Elliot Tuesley, as they went through hairpin 2 and came down through the S's, but it looks like Mike Smith stayed in front for the time being. Oh, that's a move there in the distance by Louis Draper and Jules Larkin, so right up the front of the field. That is a dice there between those two battling out for 6th place. A good move there by Louis going in to Garda, and he's now back up into 6th place. Louis is another driver who is a senior driver, whereas Jules is a junior driver, so again racing at a 10 kilo weight disadvantage for Louis. Now running on board with Archie Pratley, you can see Chris Phillips right in front. This is Chris Phillips' first ever time at Buckmore Park, so that's why he's a little bit further down the order compared to where he usually is, but he's doing a good job here today. Chris is usually a D-Max driver at Daytona Tamworth, so this is a bit of a change for him, jumping into a Sony car, but these guys are battling all out for around about an 11th to 10th position.
Yeah, Chris is pretty good at Daytona Tamworth as well. He's been on the podium a few times in the Thursday night championship that's run over there, and well, here at the EKS doing a pretty good job as well. However, it has been a change of pace, quite literally speaking, going from a 2-stroke into a 4-stroke. But these cars still fairly move. If you watch the camera angle as they make their way down into the S's, they move fairly quickly. Callum Bendelow at 1.5 seconds in at the lead of the race. I want to keep an eye on Ollie Cooper Welton because he's diving down at the inside, trying to make his way up into a position ahead of Alfie Shrub, and I believe he's done exactly that. But Alfie back on at that inside line, gets back past him. Now Matt Putland getting involved as well, so Ollie Cooper Welton loses 2 positions in the space of a quarter after just gaining 1 position very, very briefly. Meanwhile, 3rd place Jack Led under pressure from William Roberts as they make their way down through Garda. Jack led, as we said, a Buckmore regular up into third position, flying high here. Promotion at stake into split one, of course. However, Callum Bendelow seems to have that on lock for now. Now keeping an eye back on Ollie Cooper-Welton as they make their way down into Conways. We'll see if Ollie able to do anything here down into turn one. Conways, he's lost another position here, hasn't he, to Elliot Tuesley. As I looked away, will try and make that move. Matt Putland goes down the inside into hairpin one. Ollie Cooper-Welton keeping an eye on it. That's going to give him the opportunity to go past one. Now goes to the outside of Matt Putland as well. Ollie Cooper-Welton all the way around the outside. On the inside, Elliot Tuesley makes his way back through. Mike Smith getting involved in this battle as well. So Ollie Cooper-Welton, rather frustratingly, not actually able to gain a position. Matt Putland now having a look, Luke.
He is indeed, as they now farther away. You can see him from the drone shot up above, finding their way down through Pullman's and now into paddock. That's an inside move there by Ollie Cooper-Welton, went down the inside into paddock, but now looks like Mike Smith's going to capitalise on that and make his way up the inside into Garda. So good move there by Mike Smith. Now they are three abreast. Look at this, going through Cartshire Corner and up Herbert's Rise. It looks like Mike Smith actually. I think he backed out there. I think he might have felt guilty a bit about that move into Garda. You can see from Luca Nix on board. Meanwhile, Jules Larkin's up the inside of Louis Draper. These two have been battling all throughout this race, and you've now got Louis Draper on the inside for hairpin 2, and it looks like Louis Draper has managed to hold on to that 6th position, but good dice there between these two. We're also going to bring Luca Nick into play at this race. Now riding on board with George Braun, you can see this battle right in front between Archie Prattley, Chris Phillips and George himself, and I think George has just managed to get past Chris Phillips there as they headed down into the S's. So there are battles all over the field here. You can see now from the drone shot that Louis Draper is indeed ahead of Jules Larkin. Then you can see this train of carts behind, so it looks like that is, who is that at the front? Is that Owen Canberra? It is indeed. So Owen Canberra is at the front of this field, broken away from the pack behind with Alfie Shrub, followed by Elliot Tuesley. You've got Matt Putland, the winner of the previous split 3 race. He's actually doing some fantastic lap times here, by the way. Matt Putland has done a 49.5, which is the fastest lap of the race, and is as quick as the split 1 driver. So Matt Putland really proving that he was in the wrong split to begin with. You can see him actually at this point in time alongside, I think that is Elliot Tuesley, it is indeed, as they head into hairpin 2. So Matt Putland doing a fantastic job here. Superb lap times will put him right at the front of the grid for the next race. Remember, the next race, the grid is set on your fastest lap times, but you can see from the drone shot here we've got a battle going into Garda. It looks like Jack Led has actually managed to make his way into 2nd place, and Ellis Beattie just briefly had Will Roberts on his outside. In fact, Will Roberts managed to make his way past. He has indeed, so we've got the same suits. Difficult to tell the difference between the two of them, but it is Will Roberts, yes, who has managed to make his way up into 3rd position. So Ellis Beattie lost a couple of positions here whilst we weren't looking, and is now down to 4th place. Adrian Perez, meanwhile, he is a senior driver, and he is right up at the sharp end here in this race. As we can see on board with George Braun, you've got Archie Prattley up the inside of Matt Putland as they head down to hairpin 1. Oh, that's a bit of that was a bit of a lunge there by Archie Prattley. Went a little bit hot and locked up the brakes and spun round, which has also taken Matt Putland out with him as well, unfortunately. So I think Archie Prattley got a little bit over optimistic then going into hairpin 1, and round he unfortunately goes. And now you can see going up to Garda, that's a move then by Adrian Perez. So whilst we weren't looking, Adrian Perez managed to make his way past, I think that is Ellis Beattie, it is indeed. So now Adrian Perez up into 4th place, just saying how good a job he is doing in this race. He's 2nd within the senior class, and he is flying around here. But Callum Bendelow, as we're coming into the final lap of the race, is our dominant leader in this race, and he's currently leading by 2.5 seconds.
Just a couple of corners to go then for Callum Bendelow. Keep an eye on Jack Led if he can hold on to the 2nd position. William Roberts putting so much pressure on him over the last couple of laps, and I would imagine that will continue into this final lap here. Ollie Cooper-Welton, they make their way into hairpin 1. He's trying to get himself past the number 9 car of Elliot Tuesley. Looks for a bit of a switchback as Callum Bendelow back into view as they make their way into Garda, and William Roberts is all over the back of Jack Led. They'll make their way up and through Garda. Is there going to be a move there? I don't think there is. They go side by side actually very, very briefly. Callum Bendelow will come across the line then to win this race. Jack Led will hold on to the position ahead of William Roberts. We're keeping an eye then on Ollie Cooper-Welton. George Braun right behind Ollie as well as they make their way through Cafe Curve and through the final couple of corners here to cross the line. It will be Ollie Cooper-Welton staying where he is, frustratingly behind Elliot Tuesley. George Braun in 13th position. Callum Bendelow will represent Red Monster Racing inside of Split 1 Race 3, then taking victory here in dominant fashion inside of split 2, race 2. 2.8 seconds to a high-flying Jack-led William Roberts, making up the rest of your podium. Jack and William both being junior drivers. Adjan Perez Soroso is in 4th position for Team 22, but 2nd in our senior class. Ellis, Beattie, Jules, Larkin and Louis Draper, your top 7. Luke and Nick is in 8th position with Owen Camber and Eliot Tuesley, the rest of your top 10. Ollie Cooper-Welton finishes in 11th position after a pretty entertaining battle throughout that race with George Braun, who's in 12th. Then it's our heavyweight driver Mike Smith in 13th position, with Matt Putland for RJ Hawkins Limited Racing inside 14th position. Chris Phillips finishes in 15th position with 2 juniors, Ethan Vincent-Dotsey and Archie Prattley 16th and 17th. Alfie Shrub makes up the rest of your grid. Only the one major penalty to speak of then, and that is Alfie Shrub, who received a 30-second penalty for taking a driver out and not giving the place back. That is why he is so far down the order.
So I'm here with Jack Lane and Callum, the top 2 in that previous race. Great drive there, Jack. Good recovery through the field and getting up to 2nd place. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just quite tough. Obviously, coming from 3rd, first time here in the EKS, so it's just all a different challenge really. But I'm happy with it. I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, that was great stuff. And Callum, your first win in the EKS was our first ever race here in the inaugural event, and that's now your 2nd win in the EKS. Well done, mate. Great drive.
Yeah, thank you.
How did it go for your perspective?
Yeah, good start. Controlled the pace. I was trying to make sure I don't make mistakes, and everything was all right from the end. So it was good. So not too bad.
Well done.